As business coaches, we're starting to get the question, both at year end and as things change on the backside of a pandemic, going, oh my gosh, my pipeline is starting to shrink lower and lower and lower. Hey, let's talk about 3 processes to achieve sales targets in a tough market. It's Scott Beebe with Business on Purpose. Go check us out, mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy. It'll actually give you a back-end numerical value of the health of your business. There were some industries through the pandemic that, quite frankly, hit the jackpot with a flood of cash into the market. Real estate and construction were beneficiaries in mass, drawing value from a unique cultural cocktail of a geographically mobile workforce, also a shortage of housing inventory, and then this rush of available cash that was into the market. Now, I don't want you to just think about home builders or remodelers. There are a lot of peripheral industries that benefited from that support the construction industry. So you may be one of those. Sales roles in this unique market began to simply belly up at the bar of counter sales, limiting the time needed to, quote, beat the streets and shake the bushes. Moving into this next season, though, those who will see growth and success in their business will be those who commit to the art and the science of business development, literally the literal development and cultivation of new business, not just bellied up at the bar. The world that we're inheriting is a world captured in a very simple non-cliched acronym coined by the futurist Dr. Bob Johansen, and it's called V.U.C.A, V-U-C-A. Here's what it stands for: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So, what's going to stand out in a VUCA world? I submit that it'll be 2 things: clarity and simplicity. Sales is not hard, but sales is tedious. Sales is the fuel in the tank of any business to ensure range and duration. See, without sales, there's no fulfillment, there's no operations, there's no administration. You can have marketing without sales for a while, and then even that goes away. Sales ultimately funds marketing. It funds operations. It funds the administration. The VUCA clouds have started to form, and it's time for the bar belliers to get off their stools and begin to hit the streets. But where do we start? So there's 3 things I want to walk through very briefly. First, I want you to ask yourself, where has 80% of our business come from in the past? Really, just stop. I want you to think. Realistic, where has 80% of our business come from in the past? Now, before you cop out and answer word of mouth, and we can't tab that, right? I want you to stop and reflect on who the word of mouth response represents. Is it friends, past clients, trade partners, vendors? Who are those people that when you say word of mouth, that represents? Now, for some of you, it may not be word of mouth. It might be something else. But here's what I want you to do. Of the 80% of where your business has come from before, I want you to identify your top 3 channels. So let's go back to our construction example. If you're construction, you might identify that your top channel is architects, for instance. They feed you a lot of business. And then second might be past clients you've already built for. They feed you business. And then maybe third might be real estate developers. Now, again, yours is going to be very different. I'm just giving you examples. But what are your past channels? Once you have a top 3 list of those channels by where you have procured 80% of your business in the past, it's now time to coordinate and systematize that list into a series of proactive follow-up steps. So second, I want you to take your list of those top 3 channels by which 80% of your business has been generated in the past, and now identify the individual names, not just the entities, but the individual names, first and last, of those that are mouthing the word about you so that others are interested enough to call and buy. I want you to add to this list of names other names of those who could begin spreading the good news of your mission to their networks, but you've just not tapped into them yet. You've just not asked. You will be well served working to identify between 10 and 20 individual names from each of your top 3 channels. Now, some of you may only come up with 3 or 4. I challenge you, keep going until you come up with 10. Again, it's those who have and those who could. The third step is I want you to take the names from your list and start with the first, most lucrative channel you have identified from that first step and take those list of names. Now I want you to very pragmatically go, open your calendar, and begin proactively setting appointments to have FaceTime with each person on the list. Yeah, but I thought you were going to give me this hack, this silver bullet. That's it. Identify the channels, identify the names, and then start setting appointments. and beat the streets. Push back from the belly. I know this sounds a lot more challenging and time-consuming than just sitting bellied up at the bar or trying to post some Facebook ads. And you might even say, but we have a backlog of business still that we cannot get to for weeks or months. The last thing we need right now is more sales. Well, you're becoming the minority, but I also challenge you. You've got to reframe your thinking. See, we had one of our coaches say this recently. The best time to sell is when you don't think you need to sell. Why? The market can smell a desperate business. Work hard to keep your sales pipeline pressurized so that you can tap into it at a moment's notice. It's naive for us to think that the market will continue proactively walking into our door and placing orders at our counter. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity are on the prowl. It's time to push back from the bar, count your steps, and hit the streets proactively to bring value to your market by reminding them that you are here and you're ready to serve.